There we go. Okay, so my talk is failure is not an F word. And I've been increasingly interested in this topic because I work as a trainer and working in social media and nonprofits, and I'm really lucky because I get to travel around the world and work with lots of NGOs on different continents. And most recently, I was in Brazil. And in Brazil, I actually had a chance to sit in the audience and listen to the speakers. And I met Peter Sims, who is the author of a book called Little Bets. And it's about affordable losses. It's essentially a book about how to fail. And each of the speakers did a VIP session with funders and NGOs. And Peter asked this really, to me, provocative question. He asked, what is failure? And he went on to explain this concept of a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. So a growth mindset is you get all your validation from outside praise. You got an A+, good job, honor roll, gold star. That's the fixed mindset. The growth mindset is you got a C+, but you go internally and you think about what can I do to get an A? And so what I want to know is how come more people who work in the nonprofit sector, especially those of us who work with technology, aren't embracing this mindset? And why aren't our organizations have a culture that embraces this mindset? So, okay, so how many of you do after-action reviews? After-action review. Let's debrief after the event, what happened, what were our goals, what went well, what didn't. What happens? Okay, let's look. We get the finger. Okay, not the finger, but the fickled finger of failure. So let's see how that goes, okay? So we have this guy. He's the manager. It's all your fault. We have this one. Yeah, no, it's the agency's fault. He's, the guy that works with him. This guy, scratching his head, he's denying it. What failure? It all went well. And then this guy, let's see. This guy, he's thinking. Let's go inside his head a little bit. He's thinking, it's all my fault! I'm wrong! Whoa! I made a mistake! I'm a disease! I need to be killed! Fire me where I stand! What's he doing? He's blaming himself. So there's actually a theory to this. This is our dysfunctional reactions to failure. They come in 3 flavors. We blame others, we deny the failure, or we blame ourselves. We got to stop this. How do we stop this? Okay, so the first step is critical self-awareness. Understand what is your typical reaction to failure. Now, I want everybody to stop tweeting or whatever and close your eyes and think about a time when you failed. At work, you could go way back, and notice what your body's doing. You're cringing. You're feeling bad, okay? And you got to let that go. You got to let it go. And I learned this technique from Matt Smith, who is an improv teacher. And it's called, when a trapeze artist makes a mistake and they sort of fall, what do? They stand up. It's called the failure bow. Okay? So I want everybody to do it with me. Okay? I want you to stand up. I want you to raise your hands in the air and say, I failed. I failed. Now keep them up and grin like a submissive dog. And, okay, I can go on and learn. Okay? We need to do this again. We need to do it one more time because I've been doing this with funders, nonprofits. Raise your hands in the air. I failed. I failed. Grin like a submissive dog. Okay, now I can go on and learn. Okay? Now you can't go into work, arriving late and go. Maybe you can do it under the table, but it's a way of releasing. And so otherwise you're thinking, don't make a mistake, don't make a mistake. So understanding your failure type. And the next thing is to understand what is the failure type of other people in your organization. Because it's not just you, it's other people on your team. So some nonprofits do a great job of removing the stigma from failure, like DoSomething.org. They do an internal fail fest where they dress up in pink boas, just like my friend Eliza, and they get up and they talk about a program that hasn't worked. And they do it in metaphorical terms. And then they reflect about how could they make it better. It removes the stigma from failure. And it's done organizationally as a team so that they can improve what they're doing and move on and learn. We have Moms Rising. Now, Moms Rising is pretty awesome because they do something called Monday Metrics. So every Monday morning for a half hour, the entire staff is evaluating their social media metrics to see what worked and what didn't work. And they know because they're using new technologies that some things aren't going to work. So they have this thing called the joyful funeral. And a joyful funeral means that they can stop doing something that doesn't work. And they actually say, gee, is it time for us to order flowers and hold a funeral for this technique because it's not working. And as they're burying the body, they give it a eulogy, and this is when these great reflections come on how they're going to iterate on it. So these are just two examples of kind of institutionalizing failure from coming and turning around that dysfunctional reaction. So what I think is, let's not point the finger. Let's reframe the F word by beginning with ourselves and with our organizations. And I think this will lead us to help us improve technology impact and get better results. Thank you.